So the big question is this: are you dating or are you in a relationship? Today I cover 7 key differences between dating and a relationship. My name is Joan Nwosu and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. In my work, I hear people all the time say they are in a relationship. But are they? Are they really? You see, words are great, but there's more to it. To many people, and you might be guilty of this too, these stages, the dating and the relationship might seem similar, but there are very distinct differences that set them apart. So let's explore them together. But first, let's start with the basics. Dating is the initial phase where you're getting to know someone. Yes, you're spending time with them, you're sharing experiences, but there's no explicit commitment. So it's just a phase of exploration without the pressure of exclusivity. However, being in a relationship is a step forward. So it's the step that comes after the dating. It's a mutual decision to be exclusive, to have a commitment to a deeper connection. At the relationship phase, you're not just spending time together. It's not about hanging out and doing things. No. At this phase, you're building a life together. You're both emotionally invested and planning for a future as a couple. So that's just some definitions around dating and relationships. So let's get into the 7 differences that you might be aware of, or you might not be aware of. Oh, this might just be a reminder for you. So the first difference is around the expectation of exclusivity, which means nobody's looking around anymore. That's it, you're done. This is it. In dating, well, it's generally accepted that both people might still be seeing others, because again, this is just the assessment phase where you're trying to get to know the person to determine whether you're going to move into a relationship or not. So it's expected that you will be going on other dates, you will be talking to other people. There's no exclusivity at this point. There's no decisions that have been made at this point. But in a relationship, it typically changes to a monogamous commitment, right? Where both parties have decided, yes, you're the one I want to be with, you're the one I want to be committed to, I want to build a life with you, and we're exclusive. There's no other person involved. There's no more you being on the dating apps and swiping left and right just for the fun of it, or going out on dates with other people. No, this is the point where it's just the two of us now in a committed, exclusive relationship. So if you have to ever wonder or ask if they're still talking to other people or seeing other people or who was that or where do I stand, chances are you might still be dating and you're not necessarily in a relationship yet. The second other subtle but yet significant difference is that at the relationship stage, the feelings are mutual. Right? So even if you haven't talked about it, you can feel it. The feelings are mutual. You know that you're both feeling the same thing, that you and your partner have the same ideas about a relationship and where you stand, right? But in the dating stage, you might both not be on the same page. Like, you might not know where he's at, or he might not know where you're at, and that's okay because it's still the dating stage. So there's no requirement for you to mutually feel exactly the same thing or be at the same emotional level as each other, because again, that's just a sign that maybe you're still dating. It's not yet at the point where everything is mutual and both of you have a clear and common understanding of what a relationship is, and both of you are ready to be in a relationship. So you might be dating, but if you're not on the same page and you're not looking towards the same thing in the next level or what a relationship is, then maybe you're just dating. You might want a relationship, but the other person might not. So if you find yourself having to ask the most dreaded question in the world, what are we? Or are we in a relationship or dating? Then maybe you need to reassess. And maybe you just need to accept that you're not in a relationship yet and you're still dating, because when you're in a relationship, both of you will know. The third difference between dating and a relationship is at the dating phase, we all do it. We show up as our best selves, right? So you're not completely being your true self. Like, you're not going to come out with messy hair and start displaying all your bad habits or your not so great habits, right? Or being so strict about your pet peeves or whatever it is, right? So at the level of dating, everything is, it's not like you're not being yourself. You are being yourself, but you're not being your full and complete self. So you're not as comfortable or as open enough yet to really show who you are and share your world and share everything about you and reveal all your secrets and all of that stuff. But when you're in a relationship, now you're more comfortable, you're more open, you're able to be more vulnerable, and you show up as yourself because you trust that this person is not going to hurt you or use it against you. So there's no longer any fear of judgment or rejection, which usually shows up in the dating phase, because, hey, you want to show up as your best self so you're not rejected, right? You don't want the person to judge you because, yes, you might have this bad habit, but that's not all of you. So you try to put up your best foot forward, your best attributes first, so that the person can accept you first, and then maybe later on when you're more comfortable, you can share some of these other things. So if you find that you're still holding back and you're still consciously trying to portray this image, the best image of yourself, then maybe you're still in the dating phase and you haven't transitioned fully into the relationship phase. The fourth difference is in the dating phase, it's just about both of you, right? This is just, you're spending one-on-one time with the person. It's just the two of you. You're getting to know each other, right? And that's fine. But when you start involving your family and your social circles into the mix, so now you're introducing them to friends and family, it doesn't mean that people don't do that in the dating phase. But typically when you're in a relationship, it's a little bit deeper than that. You want them to be integrated, not just meeting now. You want them to be integrated into your circle, right? So you're showing up to events together. You're showing up to work events together. You're showing up to medical appointments together. They are now fully integrated into your life. If you have kids, this is the point where they're becoming a part of your kids' lives. You're allowing them to spend time with your kids, and they're becoming a really, really significant part of your life. So integration, not just meeting now, integrating them into your life is a big difference between the dating and the relationship phase. The fifth one that I want to talk about is the shift from this physical desire to more of an emotional intimacy. While in the dating phase, there's a lot of focus on physical attraction. You look so great. You look this, you look that. The desire is extremely raw and physical. But as you move into the relationship phase, it deepens. It's a little bit more, it's deeper than just the physical attraction, right? It's not just the raw desire. Now it's more, you're looking more for emotional support, for someone to understand you, for there to be an emotional and a shared emotional bond between the two of you. So yes, so the desire, or what intimacy is, shifts from being physical to now being a deeper emotional level of intimacy. So that's a big difference. The sixth one is expectations. I'm a stern believer that as much as possible, you should try not to have too many expectations about human beings in general, period. But in relationships, of course, there will be expectations. So where you're just dated, where the connection is more casual, or it's just in the early days, there's typically no strings attached yet, right? You just go about your life, you're doing you. Whenever you get together, you hang out. You're living separate lives, essentially, right? There's really no true expectation. Like, they shouldn't be willing to give their kidney to help you out. There's no such deeper expectation. But as you transition towards a relationship, then things start to shift, because now this person, this partner, you expect them to be there for you, right? You expect them to be loyal, to be trustworthy, to respect you, to be compassionate, to care about things you care about, to be more involved in your day-to-day life, right? So when you're still at the dating phase, yeah, if he calls, fine. If he doesn't call, fine. If he misbehaves, fine. If he doesn't misbehave, fine. You know, it's more very fluffy at that moment. You're not as hurt as you would be if they do certain things when you're in a relationship, because now In a relationship, there's standards, their expectations, right? You're committing to be with this person. You want to hold them accountable to their actions. Both of you now have to respect and uphold what it means to be in a relationship, whatever you both have defined what a relationship to mean. So at this point, they can't just go off and do what it is they want, or just go hang out with the boys and not even call you, or she can't just book a trip and go away without telling you. No. At this point, there are expectations where we're sharing a life, right? You're responsible to me as much as I'm responsible to you. So expectations shift greatly between the dating phase and the relationship phase. So the final one is longer term commitment, right? So if in the dating phase, it's more of in the moment, you're just figuring out, okay, what are we going to do this week? What are we going to do next week? It's very it's flighting. It's not long term. There's no long term planning involved. When you talk about the things that you want to do, it's more short term, right? So in the relationship phase, it's more longer term. You're planning for a future. When you think about what are the things that you want to do, you're thinking more longer term. You're thinking about what are we going to do in a year, in 5 years. You're making decisions based on the fact that this person is going to be around, as opposed to what am I going to do this weekend? Let me hang out with this person, right? Now it's more, where am I going to live? You're thinking about the person. What kind of job am I going to do? You're thinking about the person. You're thinking about building a life together, a longer term commitment. So that's the final way that you can really assess between whether you're in the dating phase, where it's just in the moment, you're having a good time, it's great, right? Then now we're planning and building a life together. We're having longer term commitments, and that could be a stepping stone to marriage. Right? The relationship is what leads to the marriage. But some people want to jump from dating to marriage, but we're not going to talk about that today. Okay, so there you have it. So if you're still wondering, am I dating or am I in a relationship? Then maybe you need to have a conversation with the person that you're with. Think about the 7 points that I've talked about and really do a deep introspection about where you know that you are, where you stand, what this association or situationship or relationship really speaks to, whether it's more aligned with being in the dating phase or whether truly you are in a relationship. So remember, whether you're dating or you're in a relationship, the most important thing is to always be clear about your feelings and where you stand and your expectations, so that you can protect your heart and make sure that you're investing in somebody who is investing in you as well, and that you both want the same things and you're working towards a common goal. There you have it. Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Till next time, sending you love and light.